Inside Lady Cecilia's private chambers, Nathan took a deep breath in as he held the sick lady's hand and began to once again release his Asura weakening aura into her palm. He'd been at it for 30 minutes already, but knew that his spiritual energy would spread throughout her body soon, and the curse of the ill-rested could finally begin to lift. Meanwhile, Amelia soaked a rag in a bucket of ice water and pressed it firmly on Cecilia's sweat-slicked forehead. Amelia had concocted several tinctures that she'd given the Lady Lightstone before they had begun. A sleeping draught for the process of lifting a curse was known to be a painful one, and a dexterity potion to bolster her immune system during the process. Luckily, Lady Cecilia seemed to be responding well to the treatment and slept peacefully, while the two Hayfield siblings worked as swiftly as they could, occasionally meeting each other's gaze and admiring the other's skill set. For all his spiritual fighting and alchemical knowledge, Nathan knew little of the ways of the healer, and Amelia had been a quick study under the tutelage of Sir Yara. Amelia frowned as she laid a hand on Cecilia's forehead and sighed. "She's still too hot. That magic of yours is overheating her body. Can you use less of it?" "If I use less power, it'll take twice as long." "So be it. We must not allow her to get any hotter." Nathan smiled as Amelia left the room, quickly returning with several new items. She expertly laid rags full of ice from the Lightstone mansion's root cellar underneath, Cecilia in a desperate attempt to keep her cool enough. "Perhaps Big Sis will become a prolific healer in her own right someday. She certainly seems to have a passion for it." Nathan turned his attention back to Lady Cecelia as the poor woman groaned. He could feel that his spiritual energy had pulled back a significant layer of the curse, but also saw that the spiritual wound was buried very deep inside of her. Nathan could only sigh and send up a prayer to the heavens as he continued to methodically breathe and release his weakening aura spell into the sick woman's hand. This time, though, he did his best to regulate his power so that his patient would not overheat as much. He had not slept for nearly a day and a half, and the morning light was fading into midday. Still, the siblings pressed on with their work, determined to help Lady Lightstone as much as they could. 2 hours later, the siblings drank from a skin of water and wiped the sweat from their own brows as they stood over a sleeping Cecilia, who was no longer as red or sweaty in the face. Satisfied with their efforts, both siblings smiled at the anxious faces of the High Lord Lightstone and Sir Ian, who had just come through the door. Lucius immediately went to his wife's side and held her hand as she snored. "How is she?" Nathan finished drinking from the water and wiped his own face with a fresh rag. "High Lord Lightstone, sir?" "Please, call me Lucius. What is it?" "Well, Lucius, your wife has had this curse within her for a very long time, and it's been able to bury itself deep within her spiritual center. I cannot cure her in a single session such as this, but after a few days of recovery, I can do another session. The good news is that by the end of the month, if I'm able to do enough sessions, she should be completely free of the curse." Lucius Lightstone stroked his beard in amazement. He was overjoyed with the news. "Only a month? Truly? Wouldn't that just be a miracle now?" Nathan smiled as Lucius patted him on the shoulder. "Give me time, and a few more chances to use my spiritual energy, and I'll show you a miracle soon enough, with my sister's help, of course." Amelia smiled at them. She had pushed her body to the limits and exhausted her medicinal knowledge, but she was deeply thrilled with the result. Amelia found more gratification in saving a life than most warriors did in taking one. "Oh, please, my brother's the one who's able to fight the curse. I simply contended with the issues of the body." Sir Ian smiled at her sweetly as he took her hand in his. "Well, my thanks to both of you. Truly, you don't know how much this means to my family. If my mother had gone on like this, well, I cannot express my gratitude enough." Amelia and Sir Ian shared a long romantic moment together. Then, Nathan and Lucius both cleared their throats at the same time. Nathan chuckled. "Well, Sir Ian, there's no need to be so polite with us. I'm sure you can think of a way to express your gratitude to my sister later on at some point." Amelia's face grew red as she nudged her brother on the shoulder. Nathan simply laughed and packed up Amelia's things and opened the door to leave. "Well, Lucius, Sir Ian, it's been a real pleasure to help. We'll be taking our leave now. Just watch over poor Lady Cecelia. I promise, in a few more sessions, she'll be as though the curse was never on her." As the Hayfield siblings left, Stuart Lightstone bid them farewell in the hallway before entering his mother's chambers. Once inside, he found his mother awake, but just barely, as if she had awoken from a deep slumber. The High Lord Lightstone and Sir Ian sat beside her bed. Stuart joined them and gently patted his mother's leg. "Rest easy, Mother. You're looking better already." It was the truth, in fact, that Cecilia's condition had already seemed to improve. Her earlier fever had all but disappeared, and her skin's complexion was rich and rosy with color in a way it had never been for many years. As Cecilia's eyes closed once more, she entered into another bout of peaceful slumber and began to snore. Lucius Lightstone couldn't help but chuckle as he smiled at his wife and stood up slowly. He stroked his beard and turned to his two sons. "Well, boys, what do you make of that young Master Hayfield?" Sir Ian stood and mimicked his father, absent-mindedly stroking his chin where a thick beard might one day be. "Honestly, father, I believe Nathan Hayfield's strength to be far above my own skill level. He may be just the strongest young spiritual warrior in the entire fiefdom." Stuart chimed in as well. "I'd say, father, that perhaps he's the strongest youth in the entire kingdom." The High Lord Lightstone nodded his head as he contemplated his son's assessments. Perhaps you might be right. From the way you put it, then, he likely would have bested Rodric had Officer Kane not intervened. They had come to blows." Sir Ian paced the room beside his father. "I believe you're right, father. After all, Rodric is a high-level apprentice warrior, but so was Hagar Haraldson, who fell easily to Nathan's blade. If Stuart's impression of Nathan's strength 3 years ago is any indication, Nathan's power is rising at an insane rate of speed. It's hard to believe, but if that duel in the medicine shop and his treatment of my mother are any indication, he's even more formidable than what we've all been led to believe from the spiritual warrior examination. Either his results were suppressed, or he intentionally held back his strength."
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.